It is 12 o'clock and another time for us to sit and have a conversation about what's happening here in the industry. This is Showbiz Now, wherever you find yourself. Good to know you're watching. In the next 30 minutes, I'm going to have a set with you, and we're definitely going to get into the issues of the industry here in GH. Folks, yesterday we started a conversation. We played a documentary about the evolution of Ghana music. Yesterday, a lot of people contributed. For those of you who were not part of what happened yesterday, we're going to play the video again, the documentary again, and then Sadiqa Abdullah Abu will sit with me and we'll continue from where we left off yesterday as we promised. So this is Showbiz Now. My name is KMJ and I was born to talk. But in the meantime, before we get to sit and talk, let's get into the documentary of the evolution of the music industry here in Ghana.
There are many styles of traditional and modern music of Ghana. Due to Ghana's cosmopolitan geographic position on the African continent, the best known modern genre originating in Ghana is highlife. For many years, highlife was the preferred music genre until the introduction of hip-life and many others. The traditional musicology of Ghana may be divided geographically between the open and the vast savanna country of northern Ghana, inhabited by the Ghanaians of Gar and Mande-speaking groups, and the fertile forested southern coastal areas inhabited by Ghanaians speaking Kwa languages such as Akan. During the Gold Coast era lexi, the Gold Coast was a hotbed of musical syncretism. Rhythms, especially from Gombe and Ashiko, guitar lines such as mainline and Osibisaba, European brass bands and sea shanties were all combined into a melting pot that became high life. Ghana became an independent nation in 1957. The music of Ghana often reflects a Caribbean influence, yet it still remains a flavor all its own. While Pan-Ghanaian music had been developed for some time, the middle of the 20th century saw the development of distinctly Ghanaian pop music. Highlife incorporated elements of swing, jazz, rock, ska, and soukous. To a much lesser extent, Ghanaian musicians found success in the United States and, briefly, the United Kingdom with the surprise success of Osibisa's Afro rock in the 1970s.
Brazilians, coffee beans grow by the billions, so they've got to find those extra cups to fill. They've got an awful lot of coffee in Brazil.
In the 1930s, Sam's Trio, led by Jacob Sam, was the most influential of the highlife guitar band. Their Yamponsa, 3 versions of which were recorded in 1928 for Zonophone, was a major hit that remains a popular staple of numerous highlife bands. The next major guitar band leader was E.K. Nyame, who sang in key. Nyame also added a double bass and more elements of the Western Hemisphere, including jazz and Cuban music on the recommendation of his producer and manager, E. Newman Ajuri. In the 1960s, dance highlife was more popular than guitar band. Highlife, most of the guitar bands began using the electric guitar until a roots revival in the mid-1970s. Dancehall life evolved during World War II when American jazz and swing became popular with the arrival of servicemen from the United States and the United Kingdom. After independence in 1957, the socialist government began encouraging folk music, but highlife remained popular and influences from the Trinidadian music. E.T. Mensah was the most influential musician of this period, and his band, the Tempos, frequently accompanied the president. The original band leader of the Tempos was Guy Warren, who was responsible for introducing Caribbean music to Ghana and later was known for a series of innovative fusions of African rhythms and American jazz. Ebotela, Kim Bruce, Jerry Hansen, and Stan Planche also led influential dance bands during the 1950s and the 1960s. By the 1970s, however, pop music from Europe and the US dominated the Ghanaian scene until a mid-1970s roots revival. By the beginning of the 1970s, traditionally styled highlife had been taken over by electric guitar bands and pop dance music. Since 1966 and the fall of President Kwame Nkrumah, many Ghanaian musicians moved abroad, settling in the US and the UK. Highlight bands arose like Sammy Kofi's, also known as Kofi Sammy. In the 1971, the Soul to Soul Music Festival was held in Accra. Several legendary American musicians played, including Wilson Pickett, Ike and Tina Turner, and Carlos Santana. With the exception of Mexican-American Santana, these American superstars were all black, and their presence in Accra was seen as legitimizing Ghanaian music. Though the concert is now mostly remembered for its role as a catalyst in the subsequent Ghanaian roots revival, it also led to the increased popularity for American rock and soul. Inspired by the American musicians, new guitar bands arose in Ghana, including Nana Mpadu and the African Brothers, the City Boys and others. Musicians such as C.K. Man, Daniel Amponsa and Eddie Donko incorporated new elements, especially from Jamaican reggae. A group called Wolome also arose in the 1970s, leading a cultural revival to encourage Ghanaian youths to support their own countrymen's music. By the 1980s, the UK was experiencing a boom in African music as Ghanaian and others moved there in large numbers. The group High Life International was probably the most influential band of the period, and others included John Kay, Dade Krama, Orchestra, Jazeera, and Ben Bracco. In the middle of the decade, however, British immigration laws changed and the focus of Ghanaian immigration moved to Germany. The Ghanaian German community created a form of high life called Boga High Life. The most influential early Boga High Life musician was George Dako, whose Ako Tibrofo coined the term and is considered the beginning of the journey. Boga High Life was extremely popular in Ghana, especially after computer-generated dance beats were added to the mix. The same period saw a Ghanaian community appear in Toronto and elsewhere in Canada. Pat Thomas is probably the most famous Ghanaian Canadian musician. Other emigres include the Ghanaian American Obo Adi, the Ghanaian Swiss Andy Vance, and the Ghanaian Dutch Kumbisela. By the late 1990s, a new generation of artists discovered the so-called hip life. The originator of this style is Reggie Rockstone, a Ghanaian musician who doubled with hip-hop in the United States before finding his unique style. Hip life basically was hip-hop in the Ghanaian local dialect backed by elements of the traditional high life. His music producer Hammer of the last two unveiled artists including Obrafo, Tiny, Kwalkese, Okra, Edem, and many who further popularized the hip life music genre respectively. Hip life has since proliferated and spawned stars such as Reggie Rockstone, Ochiame Kwame, Ochiame Kofi formerly in a group called Achiame, Root Eye, Akitechie, Nananom, Dead Body, Sasquad, and later became TH4 Quages. Extol, Nana King, VIP, now VVIP, Mensa, Samini, Brothers, Lord Kenya, Boogbag, Abrowanana, Tic Tac, 4x4, Wuta, Praye, Asem, R2Bs, Money First, Yapuno, Stonewall, Shatawale, EL, Sarkodie, Bisakede, and many more.
Vibes on, vibes on. Vibes on, vibes on.
The new generation of Ghana music is finally here, and these artists are displaying in diversity in their respective worlds. They have given birth to alternative music which has made them unique and refreshing. If you are looking for the new era of Ghana music, look for names like Medical, B for Bona, Kwesi Arthur, Ayat, Walasi, Akan, Opipini, Amrado, Kwesi Slay, Kojo Q, Shaker, Papi Kojo, Lemem Gang, Kofi Mole, Kim Promise, Kitty, Kwame Eugene, Sina Soul, Adoma, Frida Rhymes, Sefa, Toy Boy, Calvin Boy, Fancy Goddam, Macasio, Soribia, Joey B, Strongman, Kofi Kinata, T-Flow, Miss V, AI, Wendy Shea, Eddie K, Herman Sway, and few others who have taken the music to a new level, and the future looks bright already. These artists have their own agendas and they are executing them tactically. It's time for the younger laws to take over, and I think the signs are very clear now. My prayer is to see them cracking the world open and artists elsewhere looking up to them and admiring their fresh talents from afar.
I want to do you something, so no longer. Look how you come my way, you make me feel some way. My heart is on delay, I don't know what to say. Hey, look how you come my way, you make me feel some way. My heart is on delay, I don't know what to say. Hey, follow me, yeah baby, yeah mon go. Follow me, yeah baby, yeah mon go. Follow me, yeah baby.
And Sadiq tells me that is Asokbo. Now that was the evolution of Ghana music here on Showbiz Now. Yesterday we began this conversation. I'm sure you tuned in and you were able to share your opinion on that. Today we're doing the part 2 of it, and as always, we make sure that we're getting to the issues proper, deal with them, and open the phone lines for you to also share your views with that. It's going to happen today as well. But in the meantime, you can go on our social media pages and drop your comments over there. We'll be glad to read from you later on the show here on Showbiz Now. My name is KMJ. I was born to talk. It is always a pleasure to know you are the other side doing the watching. In the studio with me today is the man who was here with me yesterday, Sadiq Abdullahi Abu is my man in the studio, and he is the CEO of 3 Music and also Boom Play, the country manager here, and he's going to join me in the conversation over here. So let's do it, Sadiq. That's right, bro.
I didn't forget it.
Yeah, you're the man. You're shot.
That's good.
But yesterday we started a conversation that a lot of people seem to be very interested in the conversation, with respect to the fact that this is Ghana, this is our music, this is what we believe in, and so a lot of people would want us to actually continue and then find a level grounding for it. So today we're continuing. But before we left off from where you spoke about the way the old folks complain and the fact that they don't even have to complain in the first place because there's nothing new under the sun. Something that we have done before are what these guys are doing. They are only looking into the future and adding certain elements to it to make it even better. Now, let's talk about the handing over process. Most of the old folks have complained that the new ones have found some sort of safe haven, and so they're not giving them the attention they're supposed to give them, thereby fostering some sort of relationship or collaboration. It's not happening. Do you think we made a mistake in the handing over process from the old folks to the new generation?
Well, I won't call it a mistake, but obviously there's been around the world, globally, there is no formal process with which you hand over. One of the ways other industries have handed over is by documenting things that happened. But here, unfortunately, there hasn't been a lot of documentation regarding our music, which is going to be passed on to the different generation, and there hasn't been enough mentorship. Yes, once in a while you see some level of mentorship, so you have a Dadolumba mentoring, Ofoyo and Ponsa, you would have a Kojo Entry mentoring, and Anaya, for instance, but within the last few years, we haven't seen that happen a lot, so in terms of, there hasn't been any formal processes in terms of how to hand over. But yes, it's true, I think that there's a generational differences, which is very normal. At every point in time, you would have a particular age group. Usually, it's the 16 to 24. Previously, we used to call them millennials, but even now, when you speak to a lot of the marketers, they tell you the names are changing to now Generation Z.
Okay, so from millennials.
From millennials. So millennials essentially are the people that few years ago we used to be the guys, the go-to guys when it comes to on-trend fashion, on-trend music, and experimenting with things. The millennials are growing now, and now there's a Generation Z. The Generation Z are those people that were born from the mid-90s up to about the early 2000s. And these people are on a different level altogether. So you realize that even people that are in their 30s, may not necessarily be able to relate to those people that are Generation Z. So all these things do cause some bit of generation. And these people, mind you, were people that were born in the technological era. They had come at a time where technology was there, was part of their lives and everything. So it would influence a lot of things that they would do. So yes, there are generational gaps, but I don't think you call it a mistake. I think that it's a normal, it does happen, particularly when we don't have a laid out process by which to hand over to the industry. But I mean, it happens. People will experiment and find their own way around things.
Is it too late to rectify this problem, if you like?
What do we rectify? It's like I said, there is no
like
around the world.
the new ones now getting closer and more closer
It's
to the old folks.
It's a matter of choice, really, and it's a matter of the artists. The young ones will also tell you that when they were probably coming up and they really needed some of these people to hold them up and bring them to that particular level, they probably didn't pay attention to them. And so what is the motivation for them to go back now? You know, so if you realize that the few ones that got some bit of mentorship are still there for some of the older folks. I'm very certain that Oforian Ponsa, even in his prime at that particular time, was still available for that Lumba. I'm very certain that today Nanaya would want to do something with what's her name? Kojo Enchi, for instance. And some of even the younger ones will tell you, look, they've been knocking on some of these older folks, but they don't pay attention to them because of the differences in.
I know for a fact there's been times that many of them have also come out. I mean, the likes of Ampedu have come out to say that they should come to him, and these guys are not going.
Well, that's I said. It's a matter of choice. Ideally, it should be welcoming and refreshing news to have some of these younger folks trying to tap into the music, but they are doing already. Sometimes what they are doing is that they are finding their own ways around it. Kidi, Kwame Eugene, if you realize, most of their songs, they've sampled a lot of Kojo Enchi, they've sampled a lot of Dadu Lumba. You listen, Adia Pena, you listen to some of the lyrics, even the Adia Pena itself, even though Adia Pena is tree, Adia Pena in terms of music, for some of the older folks are very aware of a song that Kojo Enchi do is Adia Pena. You know, so there's a lot of going back, digging deep and finding all these rhythms, all these lyrics and everything from the older folks that's relevant to them. It's a matter of choice. If tomorrow some of these younger artists sit down and decide that, look, I want to do a collaboration, or I want to tap into the experiences and the catalog of an older artist, and I need to go to him, I mean, so be it. But I don't think it's something we need to really force it on them. Look, we don't have to force them. These people are finding their rhythm. These people are finding their trend.
So we should just
allow them to be. If they decide, we're saying members of the Lamem gang, for instance, dig deep to give you a song that is essentially a sopo. It is high life. The song that you just played, also, it's high life. The difference between the song and the people that are making it is that their positioning, the Lamem gang's position is not high life. But it doesn't stop them from experimenting with songs that includes high life, hip hop, R&B, or anything like that. Their positioning is more on trend, is more hip hop, R&B kind of music. But the same group have decided to give us a music that is essentially a high life, and the younger people are grooving to it because of the guys that have done it. So really, we don't necessarily need to force anything on them. Let's allow them to be. Let's allow them to still experiment and give us the music as far as, of course, some of the older folks, if we want, we can reach out to them to guide them. But these guys are in their own world, and they are giving the music that is relevant to the audience who are, because at every point in time, you would have a particular group that are heavy music users. And these people, fortunately for them at this particular time, are people within their circles, within their group, that are heavy music users. So why not?
I'm very concerned. You think that we have that solid foundation that would sustain these people and where they are heading? Especially the kind of people that are backing them now, in terms of producers that are backing them now, managers that are backing them now. You think that we have that solid foundation that if tomorrow they even decide that we're not going to these old folks anymore, or we don't even want to go to them, we can still sustain it and get to where we want to get to with that?
Yes and no. I mean, in terms of, yes, we have a solid foundation in terms of the music narrative we've created from Ghana. From what you played till now, it's very evident that we had a very strong foundation, to the extent that our sound is the basis for the biggest music format that's coming in from Africa, Afrobeat. The basis of Afrobeat is high life. The basis of Afrobeat is a Ghanaian sound. And even till now, you know how the Nigerians are constantly looking into Ghana and picking in, looking to Ghana and picking in. And in terms of, and as far as that is big, of course, we have the strong foundation. No, also because I don't think we have enough insightful, knowledgeable management team members in the system. Of course, we need a lot of this. The industry will grow. From where I sit, for instance, it was shocking to me that some of the talents that I knew to be intelligent and smart didn't even know much about digital distributions today. Their management didn't know much. Whereas in Nigeria, whereas in Nigeria, they are able to understand and know that digital distributions, for instance, is contributing to about 40% of total talent's total earnings. And it's anticipated that between now and the next 2 years, they are going to earn about 60% of their total revenue from digital distributions.
That's huge.
And these are things that is mainly driven with talent. So it's a big deal for them. You understand? So yes, we need a lot more insightful managers to get involved. Most importantly, we need money. We need funds. We need to have a lot more business people paying attention to it. We need, around the world, I mean, the entertainment industry has been driven from a private perspective. Of course, government has given you the laws already. There's laws that's governing copyright. There's laws that's governing a lot of things. They only need to create the enabling environment. But we need a lot of private people to get involved. We need a lot of people to spend time with these talents and help the people that will do it. Of course, we need to have it. I have been a supporter of a 360 system, because we can't just focus only on supporting and developing the talent, but it's because it's a value chain. It's a 360 value chain. There's a media involved. There's a media promotion people involved. There's the management team. There's a lot of people playing a role. So we need to focus on developing these things. And to the artists also need to know that after this, all these people have come together to support you. You also need to look back and be able to support, so that we can have a full 360 system. There's a whole lot that we need to do to be able to take the industry to where it's supposed to go. But most importantly, we are on a destination. I think that we are not far off. There are a few things, obviously, a lot of little challenges that if we're able to surmount, we'll be able to get there.
We'll get into another conversation, but let's try and then get our viewers also part of the conversation we're having over here. The phone line is on your screen. You can also give us a call. Let us know what you think about the issues we're talking about here. We're talking about the evolution of Ghana music, and we're looking at where we started from and where we are and where we are getting. Indeed, if we believe that we have that solid foundation to push us, sustain the young ones that are actually doing it to get to where we want them to actually get to. 0302211698 or 99 is a number you can call us on this afternoon here on Showbiz Now. My name is KMJ. I have Sadiq Abu Abdullah with me here from 3 Music and Boom Play. The country manager is seated right here with me, and we're talking about show business. We're talking about our industry. We're talking about music and how far we've come over the years to where we are right now. So you can also join in the conversation. Now, let's look at one critical part of this whole conversation we're looking at, and it's the fact that we have producers like Aji Coates, Big Ben, who have contributed immensely in pushing where we okay, I'll get back to that, but let me pick. Malik is from Gambia. Malik, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Good to have you on the show, bro. Go ahead.
Yes, good. I really enjoy it. I'm doing very well. I really enjoy your show.
Thanks.
Especially the flashback on Ghanaian music. But I failed to hear the name of Osibisa.
Osibisa, yes. Malik.
Yes.
Yeah, what do you want to say about Osibisa?
Well, you know, Osibisa was a group that had a lot of Ghanaians. Daddy Osi was there, Mark Tonto was there.
Exactly.
I mean, this was a fantastic group.
Exactly. Oh boy. He called all the way from Gambia. Many thanks to you, Malik, and thanks for watching us from Gambia. We appreciate it. Hello? Okay, so you can also give us a call 030221169899 and let us know. So I was talking about the fact that we have producers who did very well, you know, in terms of marketing and everything to ensure that we get to where we are. Do you think that the new producers that we have maybe not thought about going to them to learn from their ways and how they were able to achieve some of the success that they achieved over the years?
Well, I mean, it's like I said, it's still a matter of choice. I mean, if I become a lawyer today and I feel that I really need to tap into the experiences of a senior lawyer and spend a lot more time.
Let me interrupt you.
Of choice, really.
Desmond.
Hello.
Hello, how are you doing, Desmond?
I'm good, and you?
I'm well. Thanks for calling. We're listening.
Yeah. I want to congratulate the fair guy there. He's done a great job. He's saying a lot of things.
His name is Sadiq.
Sadiq, yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate him, what he said.
Okay. All right, many thanks. You want to say a big thanks to you for calling. Michael. Hello, Michael. How are you doing?
I'm great.
Good to have you on the show, bro. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh boy, we lost Michael over there. You can also give us a call. Let us know. Please, if you call us, do well to lower the volume on your television set. It gives us some feedback. And sometimes you don't even get to hear yourself speak to us. And it's terrible. Carlos is on the line. Carlos.
Yeah, hello. Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you doing, bro?
I'm doing fine. I'm an up and coming artist, and I always have problem with this industry of ours. You know? Hello?
Yeah, we're listening. Go ahead, bro.
Yes, the problem is we don't have policies governing the entertainment body of Ghana. The policies are so poor. We need a local content policy, especially that of the music industry. You understand?
Yeah.
When you go to Nigeria, they have a 70% local policy.
80.
That's 80, right?
80
yes,
20.
70%.
There's
You go to
80,
Kenya,
20.
they have 80%. South Africa passed the law 3 years ago, and they took it to 90%. Why is it that Ghanaian songs don't command the airwaves of Ghana?
It is changed. It's changed now.
Let me give you a typical example.
Okay.
EL went to Nigeria to promote his sound. He didn't know that on Wednesdays, they play only 100% Nigeria song. Aside from the 70% content, you know. Every Wednesday is 100% Nigeria song. So he was denied even promotional deal on the airwaves of Nigeria. What are we doing in Ghana? They keep blaming it on the artists. Artists don't do this. Artists don't do that. We claim to have a lot of industry players in this industry, and they do nothing.
Okay. Yeah. Many thanks. Well, a bit of fact over there is 80-20 in Nigeria, as you said, 70. Cooks, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm good.
Good to have you on the show. Go ahead, bro.
Yes, I wanted to contribute. I'm in my late 40s.
Okay.
And when we were much younger, like the Gambian guy said, a foreigner is kind of like talking about Osibisa. That tells you that Osibisa went so far.
Exactly.
They were all over the world. The other thing to see about Osibisa was that they still had the African identity.
That's right.
The way they dressed, their stage, their rhythms, everything. There was an identity. When a white man comes to Ghana, he's trying to come and look at what we have. But he comes and everything we have seems like a carbon copy of what they already have there. And the fact is that we don't even do it as well as they do it. But what do we have that we can polish and improve? Because Osibisa went so far that if Michael Jackson was on stage and Osibisa also appeared on the same stage,
yeah,
their identity and where they are from was not lost. Their music was just as good and just as international.
Exactly.
So what are the young guys doing? How are we improving really our music so that we can really fit into the international stage and sell ourselves properly?
Okay, I'm sorry I had to, your point is well made. I'm sorry, because of our time, we had to get into this and get another person on. Emmanuel is on the line. Emmanuel.
Yes, hello.
How are you doing, bro?
I'm good. Sadiq, I just want to shout out to Sadiq.
All right, he said you.
Sadiq.
Yes, Chief.
Abu Lai, killer this.
Come again. Hey, killer.
Jack is in the studio. Killer, you're on the other side.
Killer. That's it. That's it.
All right, bro. What do you want to tell us?
Oh, I just want to give you a shout out. He's my boy.
Okay.
Killer is my boy.
All right, many thanks. So we have to wrap up. So your remarks before we take leave.
Well, I think that, we need to, as much as we would want young people to, continue the mantle, which is to continue to give us strong music as they have. I think we still need to give them. Some of them are still going back and experimenting. They are taking and sampling songs from the past and are giving it to us.
Okay.
We still need to encourage them on and probably not talk down on them. Encourage them and allow them to be experimenting.
All right, so our time is up. We have to go right now. My name is KMJ. Sadiq was with me over here in the studio. Thanks for watching. And yes, I was born to talk. See you tomorrow.